We are here with Coach Bronson Dant. He is a legend in his own mind and in the keto space. He's got a massive following. He's got a particular approach to fitness, to health, to wellness in general, and we are blessed to have him here. And we're going to just rattle off a bunch of questions with him. And pew, pew, pew. And obviously, there's a time to be serious, but we missed the memo. So we're just going to get right to it. So let's start off in traditional fashion. Your name, where you're from, and what do you do for a living?
Hi, I'm Bronson. I like long walks on the beach. I'm a Gemini. I eat a lot of meat. Let's see what else. I'm Coach Bronson. Like you said, thanks for the intro. And yes, we are not going to be super serious. This whole process that we go through, I think people are so serious about it. Like, if you can't have fun while you're doing this, what's the point? The whole reason we're doing this is so we can enjoy life better. If you're stressed out throughout the whole process, you're kind of defeating the point. So yes, let's have some fun. Let's have some fun.
So what do you do for a living?
Say again?
What do you do for a living? How did you?
Yeah, what was I say? What I do for a living? I do a bunch of things. So I actually have a regular 9-to-5 job. I'm actually in IT. I do IT program management for a big consulting firm. And in my fun time, I help people improve their quality of life. So I like to speak. I do a lot of videos, do content. I have a boot camp that I run. I do fitness programming, mindset work with people. Most of what I do these days has become more behavior change and mindset work than it is actually fitness and nutrition. I just had a client last night on a call. 50 minutes of the call was talking about mindset work that I think she needs to go through, and some things that she can work, that we work through on the call, and then some stuff for her to take home and kind of start practicing. And about 10 minutes was actually, oh, by the way, here's some nutrition stuff, here's some fitness stuff, have a blast, right? It's like, that's the easy stuff. So working with the stuff that's going in our noggin, that's where most people get stuck. And that's where a lot of the stuff that I do now is focused on.
Okay, so let's take a trip down memory lane.
Yeah.
How did you get started? What led you to from where you were? Because then you were heavy into the fitness world and getting all buff and ripped. And then you got into you added the nutrition element to it.
Yep.
And now you're saying now it's going into more behavioral mindset as the end, where the object of that is the fitness and the nutrition.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about that progression and how did you arrive at this new place where you're at?
Yeah, it's called the long path. It's called taking the long way around the block. Mm-hmm. If I had started with the behavior change and mindset stuff first, the rest of it would have been a lot easier and happened a lot faster. Right? So I did what most people do. Most of the people that I work with have been struggling with, I'm doing everything I possibly can with fitness, or I'm doing everything I possibly can with nutrition. I've tried all the things. I've done all the workouts. I've done all this. I had, the client I was talking to last night, she said several times, it's like, I've practiced and I've used sheer willpower and I've, done this, I've done that. I've done all these things to try to make myself do this stuff. And it wasn't working, and it's not working. What do I do? And that's where I was. When I first decided I need to make a change, fitness was the first answer for me. And it helped me a lot. It had got me moving in the right direction. And then 4 or 5 years into that, I was super fit. I owned a gym. I was helping people get fit and in shape. And then I realized, holy crap, I put on 30, 40 pounds of what I had lost. I still wasn't any healthier than I was before. And I had more injuries and more things keeping me, like I was stronger, but I was hurt. So it didn't matter how strong I was because I still couldn't do anything.
And this was as you had an active fitness clientele.
Yes, I had clientele. I owned a gym. I was working with people every day. And that's part of what made me go, well, there's something more. What else am I missing? Then I found nutrition. I found proper nutrition, proper human diet. I found being animal-based. I found cutting out seed oils, cutting out processed food, not eating vegetables. For me, vegetables probably made up 70%, 80% of my diet, and it was some meat. Flipping that completely on its head totally changed everything for me. The physical limitations that I had, not because I wasn't strong, not because I didn't have conditioning, not because I didn't have endurance, not because I didn't have range of motion and flexibility. I had all those things, but I was hurt all the time. I had torn meniscus in my knees, torn labrums in my shoulders, pulled hamstrings, pulled calves, pulled groins, back issues, herniated discs in my neck. Like I had all these issues that doesn't matter how strong I was, I couldn't move. So it didn't make a difference. Those things just gone after 90 days, 60 days, 90 days to 6 months. I realized, wait, I can do stuff. I can work out more. I don't hurt all the time. And then,
now, were you trying to get that, or was it just
that was a side effect?
Turned around.
The reason the real reason I was looking for the nutrition piece was because I had urgent bowels, and my life was 100% controlled by where the closest bathroom was, and that's really why I started looking for the nutrition piece. All this other stuff just was like, wait a second, there's more here. There's more here. There's stuff going on, and that's what really made me dig into for the last 6 years almost, dig into what's going on with nutrition, how does it impact your body, and all that kind of stuff. And that brings us to now where the longer I've coached. So the progression of going from fitness was for me, nutrition was partially for me. I've never actually put this together, but now where I'm seeing some pictures here in my head. You're helping me verbalize something. I started fitness to fix my problems. I started nutrition because my problems were evident in a situation where I was trying to help other people with their problems, but I couldn't fix my own. And I didn't feel like I could help fix theirs if I was still off. Okay. Right? So there's an overlap. Me wanting to help them made me want to help me. I found something that worked for me, then I could help them more.
You could be a better example.
I could be a better coach. I could be a better mentor in that realm. So it started with me. Then there was a blend between my needs, my clients' needs, and the people I was working with, and the obligation I felt to them. And then the longer I went through this whole process, from the fitness all the way through now as a coach, I realized that what we think literally is 90% of the problem. And that is where
that again. That's a good soundbite. That's a good soundbite. Say that.
It is. And it is literally where my focus is now in helping my clients. I've moved from helping myself to now, this is how I can help my clients the most. I don't care what you're eating, as long as you know why you're eating it. The knowledge and the thought processes behind our perception, our limiting beliefs, and the things that we're doing and why we're doing them make all the difference in the world. And that's where we transition from fitness to nutrition to mindset.
And when I was reading some of the teasers for your upcoming book, which I'm excited about.
Yeah.
It was just that. It's all mindset. And I was thinking to myself when I was driving, I have to release my inner 6-year-old. So every decision that you make, why?
Yes.
Why?
Oh my God. Yes.
Why? Yes. Why? Until you drill down far enough. That's I thought that was why. No, it's that. No, it's not really. It's really that. Mm-hmm. And when you can figure out what that is in a particular area of your life, then you can proceed with the right tools and the right plan.
Yeah. And I like how you were talking about the different whys. I might steal that 6-year-old thing. FYI. My next book, I've already started thinking about this. I got like 5 different things on my whiteboard of potential books that I could write. I was talking to Coach Nat about this recently, and we talking about the why, because again, it's something that we talk about all the time. The why is one of the most important things. But it occurred to me over the past several weeks and months as I've been working on this book that there's different kinds of why. There's the why are you doing something? There's the why do you want to do something? There's the why did I make this decision? There's the why is this important to me? Like there's a whole bunch of different ways and places that we can ask why, that if we're just, we often talk about why do you want to do the thing that you want to do? And that tends to be the why that we focus on. But being a 6-year-old and asking why for every situation, and then giving yourself the time to come up with an answer and then being honest with that answer.
Ooh, we have to be honest. Wow.
Yes, you have to be honest with yourself. That will change your life. The more you ask why, the more you give yourself time to come up with the answer, don't rush it. And then the more honest you are with that answer, your life is going to change 100%.
And I know working with clients, and the whole client-led co-creating a plan, where it's just you just constantly are drilling down, but it's for what they call value-based goal setting.
Mhm.
It's not about you want to lose 20 pounds, you want to lose 30 pounds, you want to get to a certain dress. No, it's why is this important to you?
Yes.
Well, I want to do this. Well, why? So I can do this. So so you can have more time with your family and you can do things and still be able to move around and not be in a bad spot.
Yeah. Well, then why does that matter?
We could keep going.
You can keep going. Here's the deal. Here's the trick to why. Here's the trick to why. No matter when you're asking it, don't stop until you cry.
That's a good point.
I like that.
That's
I
it.
might steal that.
Yeah.
Ask your why until your why should make you cry. It's one of the things that's a mantra that I have with my clients. If you don't have an emotional connection to the reason you're doing something, the emotional connection you have to the thing you don't want to do will always be stronger.
And every success book that you ever read, whether it's fitness, nutrition, or just success, Napoleon Hill back at the turn of the 20th century talks about a burning desire.
Mhm.
Talks about thoughts are things. I mean, everywhere you look, more contemporary, Tony Robbins will even say, if it's not something that's passionate to you, then it's not, you'll run out of gas eventually.
Yep. Absolutely.
One of our old pastors would always say, nothing's ever going to be powerful until it becomes first personal.
Right.
Very good. I like that. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And when it comes to finding out your why, sometimes your whys end up you only can go so far, and then once you get past that why, then you've got another goal as to what got you there. Why did you get there? I mean, for me, like my eating habits, I was denied things as a kid. So as I got older and I started making money, I was like, I could buy it now. I could go to McDonald's. I could go do this. And I started eating things that I was like denied. And then eventually I got into a relationship, and satisfaction mentally, physically, emotionally were not being fed. So I used food for that control. And that was the only thing I had control. My life was chaotic. It was a mess between children and husband and work. I ate, and then I make myself sick, and then it became something else. I got a divorce. I lost weight, and then I got married again. So your whys it could be several whys. Just take one at a time and deal with it and get past it.
Right.
But even like you said, if you don't actually deal with it, that could be a problem too.
Right.
If you, like you said, Bronson, if you stop at a certain point and don't get to the root, you're treating the surface. You're redressing the wound, not helping it heal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. This is good. I like this. I have a specific question. You have a pretty unique definition of fitness. What would you? How do you define fitness? So everyone thinks you gotta get buff, you got to get ripped, shredded, freaky, whatever. What's your definition of fitness?
I don't know if I've actually. Fitness is the expression of your freedom through physical activity.
There it is.
That is fitness. Fitness is your ability to live your life on your own terms and not be limited by physical things.
So it's not the scale. It's not how you look in the mirror. It's not any of those things. It's, are you comfortable in your own skin? Are you in a good place?
We're going down I love the road we're going down right now.
Keep on, man. Keep on.
No, it is about, and you're going to love this because this is the title of my next book, of the book that's coming out, is Body Confident. How confident are you in your body? And it's not just how your body looks. It is what your body can do. Do you trust your body to be ready and able to handle life when you need it to.
Not
That
the
is
gym,
confidence. Life. That is confidence. When I know that I can walk into any situation and be ready to handle whatever may happen, whether it's emotional, physical, whatever, because I've trained myself in my mind through my nutrition and in my body to handle any situation, because I'm willing to go outside my comfort zone in a controlled environment, my house, the gym, my own mind, my personal time, because I go out of my comfort zone when I have the opportunity to control the input. When I can't control the input, when life happens, I know I can handle more and be ready for that. That's being confident in your body.
You train for this. So when you're called upon to do this, it's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal. And even if it's higher than that, even if it's more, you have a habit pattern of how to handle challenge that you can fall back on without having to stress over it and think about it.
And it's become second nature.
Second nature. I have a challenge. I'm going to face it. Here's how I do that. Bing, bang, boom, done. Because you practice it.
Right.
And working out is a practice. When you have a habit of exercise, we'll use exercise. There's some stuff we can do on mindset and nutrition too, but talking about exercise, every day that you go work out, you are practicing facing a challenge, developing a plan to overcoming it, persevering through it, and then reaping the success of that work. That is a habit loop that you are repetitively retraining and reinforcing and building so that you can start doing it outside of the gym into your personal life. That's one of the powerful things about exercise and fitness. It has nothing to do in a lot of cases, it's all up here. The impact that you get is here, and your habits in your life, it has nothing to do with what happens to your body.
I'm so glad that we got in touch with you for this tonight. This is perfect. This is gold. This is throw all the notes out. Who needs them? We're just going to
positive affirmation.
My goodness, because this is where we are. Before we went live, we were telling you our thing is the whole person. It's not just nutrition. It's not just the activity and rest and all. It's mindset. It's the whole shooting match. So let me ask you this: in your approach to overall fitness, mind, spirit, body, do you look at things? Do you focus on one and then go to the next, and then focus on this for a while, and then go to this? Or do you kind of hit them all at once, kind of multitask and bring everything up at the same level?
No, you focus on the easiest thing first.
Okay.
Well, let me rephrase that. You focus on the easiest thing that is also going to have the biggest impact.
And why would you do that?
Oh, I don't know, because sustainability is really a big piece of the puzzle. If you start doing too much at once or try to get the big thing out of the way, you're less likely to be successful long term. So taking things in small chunks, taking things and saying, you know what, it's probably more important that let's take this for example. It's probably important that you start journaling every day. I'm working with a client. I want you to start journaling and start sitting with your feelings, practicing that, writing down how you're feeling, figuring out why do you want to reach for that ho-ho or moon pie, whatever it is, every time you get depressed. Okay. What is it? What's going on? Be aware, develop that self-awareness, ask yourself the why question. Why do I want this? What's going on right now? What's the circumstance around my environment? What's happened to me today that's made me want to do this? That is overwhelming for a lot of people to think about stopping what they're doing throughout the day, sitting down in a quiet time. Some people don't have a quiet time, and then writing down how they're feeling right now. Like, I don't have time for that crap.
Which could be a negative thing that they don't want to relive.
Exactly. There's a whole bunch of things that go into that. But if I come to them and I say, you know what, all I want you to do is get a piece of paper. I want you to write at the top 3 headings: date and time, circumstance, and feeling. And all I want you to do every time you go to reach for that moon pie, just write down the date and time, what's going on right now in a quick sentence, and then 1 word for how you're feeling. And just stop. That's all you got to do. That is your journaling for the day. That is your journaling for that period. And then as you develop that habit over time, 2 things happen. You're building a habit You're getting a skill. You're improving your ability to think and open the pathways that help you think and ask those questions and be aware. The more you do that, what happens? That one word of your feelings becomes a sentence. Then it becomes 2 sentences. Then before you know it, you're filling out a whole page with how you're feeling right now. Right? So that's one thing. It starts opening up that door. It starts letting that water through in that faucet. So if you start with a trickle, then all of a sudden you got the giant hose, right? The other thing that it does is you start identifying trends a lot faster because you're consistently doing something that doesn't take a lot of effort. So in a week, you may have 30 entries in there because you looked for that moon pie 5 times a day. And every time you did it, you just wrote down 2 o'clock on Monday, my kid was yelling, I wanted a moon pie because I was getting mad. Whatever, right? Whatever it could be. You start looking at that and you start realizing, oh, I go for a moon pie after these things every single time. What is it about this thing that's clicking my brain to get a moon pie? Or of the 30 times I went for a moon pie, 20 of them I was feeling angry or depressed. Or, okay, what is it about being sad that makes me want to eat? So it gives you something to work with that now you can just take things to the next level. But it's not overwhelming. It's small. It's a small thing that has a huge impact.
And it can build confidence as you do it. I
Absolutely.
did it. I didn't want to do it, but so you can have
it's a
confidence
little bit
in your ability.
Yes.
And then on top of that, it's one thing if Coach Bronson, tell me what I need to do. I'm sure you love to hear that. Just tell me what I need to do. I can do it. Yeah. But when I can start connecting the dots myself from what I wrote down, it's mine. I own it. And then I can say, hey, give me your set of eyes.
Yes, there it is.
And,
You own
let's
it.
Together
Yep.
Navigate this.
Yep. Absolutely.
On a personal level too, I've noticed that when you simplify it and it's on a personal level, I've noticed a lot of people have a tendency to numb their minds. When they're working all day and then they eat and then they go on social media. So they're on social media and that numbs your mind. You watch TV, you numb your mind.
Yep.
How do I know that? I have done that.
We're all doing it. I do it. I computer games for me.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just,
I'll hop on some games and be like,
Well, you're military, so it's first person shooter, right?
It has been, but not recently. It's been a while.
And doing that can be a little overwhelming. You're right. It can be a little overwhelming to sit down and say, I am angry. Or am I angry? I'm waiting for my watch to tell me what I am.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Right.
These things, and you're an IT guy, as am I, trying to get out of IT. But you know, what's the saying, especially here from all the data guys? No data is better than bad data. No data is, and they give you a ball. These are like, we're about the same age. Remember when MapQuest came out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
They could guarantee you that you're in the right county.
Right.
That's about it. These are a guide, folks. These are not gospel. It's a guide.
Yep. Yeah. Anything. Yeah. We talk about data and tracking, and that's another one that's a small. I like to say the easy hanging fruit, but has a big impact. A lot of the struggles that people have with making the decisions on what to do next comes from their preconceptions on what they think they're supposed to do.
Right.
Oh, I have to track. Oh, you want me to track? I don't have time for that. That's too much work. I can't weigh everything. You don't have to weigh everything to track. Take a picture of your food every time you eat. There, you're done. You're tracking.
On the cruise.
Okay, you're checking the box.
On the cruise, when we were with you guys, we had dinner a few nights with Dave Feldman.
He's been doing it for years.
Oh my gosh. Everything the man ate. He's click. What are you doing? And he's like, it's because I don't have time to write it all down. I just take a picture. If I feel bad the next day, I just look at what did I eat yesterday?
Yeah. And he was doing that for his project as well.
Yeah, but I mean, literally everything. But yeah, it was as simple as a picture.
Yep.
Because it's automatically time stamped.
Yep. It's crazy. It's crazy. So if you're struggling with something, ask yourself. It works. Guys, it works with nutrition, it works with fitness, it works with habits, everything. If you think something is too hard or you're looking at it and you're telling yourself, there's no way I can do that, find a version of that thing that is easier for you to swallow, that is easier for you to bite off and chew. Finding an easier way or a more attainable or sustainable way of doing something is going to get you over your comfort zone without having to jump. You guys know I love talking about the comfort zone. I love talking about 1%. It just takes 1% more. Okay. We talk about comfort zone, and a lot of people here, I have to do the hardest thing possible. No, that is not what we're saying. There's a line. You're inside the circle and there's a line. An inch over that line is going to get you farther than not crossing the line at all. You don't have to take a running leap over your comfort zone in order to see progress. Just take one step. Get comfortable there. What happens? Your comfort zone will now surround you again, but it's bigger than it was before. Take another step. Your comfort zone will grow to surround you again. And then guess what? It's still bigger than it was before. And then you just keep taking step by step by step, just over the line. And then before you know it, you're going to be doing all kinds of crazy stuff that a year ago, 2 years ago, you never thought you'd be able to do.
Yeah. And I'm kind of allergic to organized sports. I mean, I was in band.
Didn't I see you getting kicked to something the other day? Something
probably.
Was it your daughter kicking something or?
Well, she's in Taekwondo, and she could take all three of us. Yeah, and she's.
I saw you on a stage getting beat up or something like that. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, she was taking second place at a talent show, and I was holding her while she.
Gotcha.
She
okay.
Kicked booty. But still, I've learned how to use sports analogies, and I do know this, that all you have to do is just keep getting a first down. You don't have to throw a Hail Mary into the end zone, right as the buzzer goes off. It's as simple as just keep getting a first down.
Yep.
All you got to do is go 3 yards.
Yeah.
3 yards. Not the length of the field.
Right.
So, wow. There's so much to unpack with all this. Let me ask you this, and this kind of changes our conversations. Kind of changed my question a little bit.
Okay.
The original question was, do you see fitness coachings, the NASM and ACSM and all those guys, as adversarial to, say, health coaching in general? Do they see me as adversarial, or do you as part of a care team? Now my question would be, are you starting to see a convergence of fields in a way that deal more holistically?
It could be because it's where my head is at. But I do know, I would say, do I know what I say? Which one would it be? And this is one of those things, like I have seen, it seems to me, let's just say it's my opinion. I haven't looked at any data. I don't know specifically. It's not like I've gone out and said, what are the metrics on this? It would appear to me in the space, health and fitness space, that more certifying organizations are starting to include behavior change, wellness, and health coaching in their curriculums and in their certification programs. Whether that's because they see that as a benefit to their coaches and their coaches' clients, or because they see that as where the industry is going, TBD. Right? But I do know that more coaches, the longer they coach, usually end up talking less about nutrition and fitness and more about mindset.
So whether it's a product offering at a gym or whether it's just they realize this is a thing, really doesn't matter as long as it's happening.
Yeah, because what is the number one issue? Let's look at gym owners. What is the number one issue with gym owners? Having been a gym owner, it's keeping people.
Yeah, keeping
people engaged. I can give you all the workout plans and I can give you all the nutrition, but if you're not seeing success in 3 months, you're going to quit.
Right.
And how do you define success?
Exactly. And that's part of the challenge as a coach, right? What we have to do as a coach of a gym, as an owner of a gym or running a gym or a personal trainer, something like that, when you're just focused on fitness primarily, you still have to address the definition, the limiting beliefs, and the perceptions that that person has in order for them to realize that they may have come for a six-pack, but they need a lot more, and it's going to take a lot longer than what they think it's going to take for them to see the progress that they want to see. Right? So there's a whole big game that goes into, this is one of the struggles that I had. Okay, real talk now. My biggest struggle in this industry has been sales and marketing, because I know what people need and I have to sell what they want. It is hard to sell somebody flat abs and a big butt when I know they need to do mind work so they stop eating the freaking donut. You know what I mean? That has always been my struggle. So it has been very hard for me to learn, and I'm still working on it, guys, to learn how to present content and how to put things together that make someone go, ooh, I want that. And then when they get in the door, we call it Trojan horse marketing. Then when they get in the door, they realize, wait, there's a lot more here, and I'm really getting a lot of other benefits I wasn't expecting. I need to stay and be part of this. Right? So that's a challenge.
And it's funny that you said that, because the other day when we were driving home from Florida, we were.
Oh, yeah. By the way, we got to see our first grand this past week.
Hey, awesome. Cool.
Well, your first time.
Hey.
My second time. But we were listening to a podcast, and it was funny that you said that, because the biggest thing about coaching, whether it's health coaching, fitness coaching, or meal prepping, or whatever it is, and you've got a client that has this one focus. They don't care about this path. They don't care about that path. They want this path, and they want you to guarantee them that they're going to get at this path, this particular spot, in 30 days. And you're like,
no,
that's not realistic. You're not being realistic. So they're like, you know what? Since you're not going to help me get to that goal, I'm moving on. And it's like, really? Like, are you really ready? And I used to be one of those people. I remember thinking to myself, I should be able to lose 20 pounds in 20 days. That's not a large number. Well, depending on where you're at in your weight.
I mean, if we have a chainsaw and you're not fond of your legs, we can make it happen.
Yeah.
Sure.
So,
It depends on how you're doing it too, right? If you're doing it sustainably, and if you're doing it in a way to manage your health afterwards, that's a different conversation.
It is. And people don't realize, you know what? Are you looking for somebody to help you get to where you're at, just so you can satisfy whatever goal that you have? Or do you want to get to a goal and know that you're going to stay there? And
not everybody's ready for that. Not everyone's ready for that conversation yet.
Or you want to be short-term or long-term?
Yeah.
And
this is the thing, and I'm going to talk to you guys as coaches now, or any other people you have that are coaches or wanting to be coaches. You have to determine who your client is and make sure that not only are you going to work with them, but that they're going to work with you.
Bingo.
Okay. So as a coach, I have to evaluate everybody that comes in. And there's been people that I'm just like, I don't think this is going to work out. Sorry. I think you're looking for something that's not realistic, and it's not what I do anyways. I'm not a bodybuilding coach. I can do that. And if someone comes to me with a specific situation that I may be intrigued about their situation, and say, hey, yeah, let's try some things and go for it. But you have to be willing to listen to what I'm saying and do these things, because we're going to experiment a little bit, whatever that may be. Right. But for the most part, my message and what I talk about is helping people improve quality of life. That is like if you want to work with me one-on-one on a long-term basis, the shortest program I have to work with me one-on-one is 6 months. I don't work with people for less than that. I'll do a consultation for an hour and then let you know, if you want to get with me again, it's going to be this, or it's going to be my boot camp program, which is ongoing, or it's going to be 6 months with me. Those are your two options. Because none of it's a short-term fix, especially if you've got stuff in here, which everybody does, that you got to work on. So yeah, so it's hard. as a coach, one of the things, and I'll be honest, I want to toot my own horn a little bit here, is I've always seen myself as a lighthouse. And the thing about a lighthouse is the light is always there, but it's never going anywhere. I'm not chasing the ships. When they need me, I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
When they don't need me, they can move on.
Right.
That's what we should be as coaches. If you're following somebody who every 6 months, they're talking about something new, they've got a whole new thing, a new line of stuff that they're doing, or a new product, or there's this new scientific thing that came out, and now this is the new thing I'm going to focus on all the time. Be careful. Be careful.
Right. It's funny because we had a client that was going through some major changes, Dennis.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so
I love that communication. Look at each other. No, okay, I know who you're talking about. Yes, we're good.
Oh, yeah.
Well, but no, it's just funny because he really wanted to get on the right track. He wanted to feel better. He wanted to stop the fatigue and have more energy. And so we started, Neil was working with him mostly.
Yeah.
And he's like, he called one day and he's like, dude, my belt don't fit. My belt don't fit. Like, I have to go buy a new belt.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. And then the next thing we know is that it got real quiet. And then it was almost like he started to get embarrassed because he fell back. And that's one of the things we tell our clients and our, anyone that we deal with, keep it real.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell them, you know what? I fall off the wagon. It's okay. Accept that. Know that you fell off the wagon. Why did you fall off the wagon? And let's meet you where you're at and let's push forward.
Yeah.
And then I said, sometimes you're going to fall back 10 times. And then it finally clicks. You're like, oh, okay. I finally got it. It took me 10 times, but I finally got it.
Yeah.
Fall down 10, get up 11.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
And there's, that was one of the other things I wanted to ask you about, your take. One of the things that I've noticed across, whether it's the nutrition side, whether it's personal training, whether it's health coaching, whether it's any of these things, the big thing that seems to be lacking is authentic communication coupled with accountability.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many Lone Rangers out there. And the challenge that I even saw at the beginning was, okay, all this stuff is out here. How do you navigate it? It's such a noisy and it's just in the last 3 years has become so friggin' noisy.
Yeah.
Who do you know who to trust? How do you find it? How do you vet people? How do you, because everything's out there. A lot of it is for free.
Yep.
The challenge is, if you have no one to hold your feet to the fire.
Yeah.
All
right. So when the book is formatted, we have everything ready to go, and I have some kind of an electronic version, I'm going to send it to you because I want you to read it. I want you guys to be my hype guys for the book, hype people for the book.
Oh, dude, you got
it. What you're saying right now is why I wrote the book. Okay, this book is titled Body Confident. I want people to a couple of things. I want people to understand what it means to be confident in your body. It has nothing to do with how you feel. Okay, it's what you can do. Number one. Number two, it is a critical thinking guide for your journey. It is a framework that you can follow step 1 through step 5 that walks you through step by step how to look at the information that is out there and determine if it's following concepts and principles that make people successful, regardless of what protocol or guideline they're following. Because everybody needs a different guideline or protocol, but everybody also needs the same functional concepts and principles across the board. Right? Everybody needs protein. Some people need more than others. Some people need PSMF in their lives. Some people do not. Right? Some people need high-fat keto diet because of whatever issues they have going on. Other people do not because they're trying to lose weight. So the protocol is different, but the need for protein and the need for fat is a concept that is universal. It doesn't change. How it's applied is what makes the difference. And learning how to take the information in the context between, there's communication. We talk about communication, right? There's 3 parts of communication. There's the sender, the message, and the receiver.
Right.
Okay. The information that you get from people online, or your coach or influencer, or a book you read, or a video you watched, whatever else, look at the context, the background, and the message being sent, the content of the message itself, and then is it applying to your context? So 3 levels of context. Where is it coming from? What is the message? And who are you trying to apply it to? If one of those things doesn't match, then that message is not for you.
It could be a good message.
It could be a great messess. And in many cases, it is a great message, right? I mean, I use this example. You guys didn't come to the conference last year. Shame on you. But in my talk that I did, which was kind of a precursor to the book, called Principles Over Concepts, Concepts Over Protocols, Principles over Protocols. I talk about, Dr. Boz has a very different protocol than I have.
Right.
Okay. Dr. Boz is literally trying to keep people from dying. I'm trying to help people optimize after they've been stuck for 5 years. Right? There's a big difference in how now, does Dr. Boz recognize that everybody needs a certain amount of protein? Yes. Does Dr. Boz recognize that everybody needs fat? Yes. Does Dr. Boz recognize that everybody needs to exercise? Yes. Right? Just like I do. We check the board, we check the boxes at the high level concepts of what we need to function as human beings. And a lot of people are so stuck down in the weeds of the individual protocol that they're, 1, getting confused.
Thank you.
That 2, they're spending time doing stuff they don't need to be doing in the first place, and money that they don't on things they don't need to be doing in the first place. If they would just take it up, and instead of saying, I'm going to do PSMF, what if you just say, I'm going to try to increase my protein throughout the day, every day, by however much is reasonable for me to do? That's a lot easier. And it meets the goal of you're giving your body the nutrition that it needs.
And to circle back to the very beginning, well, let me try, protein sparing modified. Why?
Why? There's a whole nother, right?
Why?
It all comes together. It all blends together, right? It's a circular thing. Absolutely.
I heard an influencer say that maybe I should try it for me. Why? Why do I want to? What's
right?
The point?
What's the context? What are they saying? What's their background? Dr. Sibus is another example, right? He was on I did a video with him where he was talking about people are getting more protein than people don't need as much protein as they think they do. Okay. And that a lot of people are like, what do you mean? He's saying we don't need protein? That's not what he said.
First off, that's not what he said.
First off, that's not what he said. Secondly, the very next thing he talked about was how most of his clients have been getting not enough fat and have been overdoing protein. So in the context of what he's talking about, he's saying, don't reduce your fat for protein and then not get enough fat.
Right.
So you got to stop for a second, put some of your critical thinking hat and start analyzing what people are saying when they say these things instead of taking the first thing out of someone's mouth as law.
And then you hear some dude, with a name like Bronson or something that says, wow, fat and protein, just because you raise one doesn't mean you have to lower the other, and they function independently.
Absolutely.
Things like that. And we like to say, and not to interrupt, but I'm going to. But we like to say everyone's dietary needs, they're as unique, this is what you were going to say, as your fingerprint.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a fingerprint. There's a lot of similarities to it.
I'm totally stealing that.
Me.
This is unique. Totally stealing that. Who came up with that? Okay. I'm totally stealing that. That's a perfect example. That's exactly right.
I'll send you the PayPal for the royalties.
Yeah. And here's the thing. And he's right, because I was going to say that. And, whatever. So and it's funny because when somebody says, well, how'd you maintain your weight loss? I don't understand. I had the surgery and I gained all my weight back.
Mm-hmm.
I did the surgery and I can't gain any weight, or I'm struggling, I'm fatigued, I'm tired, I'm doing all this stuff. And I said, what you eat is going to be different from what I eat.
Yep.
But I had the same bariatric, the gastric sleeve, just like you did.
And
the procedure's the same. The people aren't.
Right.
So that means 1 out of 18 million different things is the same.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell everyone, I said, what I eat, you're not going to be able to tolerate the same things that I eat. I can eat things and tolerate it well. You eat things that I'm like, I cannot tolerate that anymore.
Yep.
Or I won't be able to tolerate that.
Sure.
So for a long time, I depended on protein shakes, the Premier protein shakes for the longest time, because that was the only thing that I could put in my mouth and know that I'm not going to throw up all over the place.
Yeah.
Now that I've graduated up to eating like real protein, real meat, real fats, I'm able to adapt to that. And then there's certain things like us nurses will do a potluck, or we'll get together with some friends and they'll have stuff. And I'm like, okay, that's something I haven't had in a long time. Let me take a bite. And I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah.
No. I so regret it, and it doesn't feel good. So
everybody's different.
Yep. Everyone's different. And don't get that. This is something else. Again, we're literally talking about everything that's in my book. So this is fantastic. I talk about bio-individuality in the book and what that actually means. And I really like your fingerprint analogy, because that's a perfect example of how the principles of fingerprints exist for every single human being. But that doesn't mean we all have the same fingerprint. It's like blood. All blood, when it's oxygenated, is red. But how many different blood types are there? Right. If bio-individuality was a thing, the way many people approach it, modern medicine would not work. Because things wouldn't work for thousands and hundreds and millions of people all across the world. If everybody was different, we'd need a different drug for everything, for every person.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's not go down that rabbit hole.
Oh my gosh.
So just understanding that bio-individuality doesn't mean that you are genetically not the same human as somebody else. You have the same genetic markers and makeup as every other human being on the earth. And therefore, you have the same nutritional and physical requirements to maintain your physical independence as every other single human being on earth.
You just got to dial it in for you.
Yep, exactly. You just got to dial it in for you.
And when we say that, we have to do that.
Yes, you have to. You can't say dial in, not do that.
Find your frequency.
All right, let's do some rapid fire questions here.
Shoot.
Fact or fiction? You must be a full carnivore to reap any of the health benefits of the carnivore diet.
Fiction.
Let's see. My time on a treadmill or an elliptical is all that I need for my exercise.
Fiction.
These are, yeah. And we just tell you, if you increase your protein, you must reduce your fat.
Absolute fiction.
Fiction. Here's a good one. How do you prevent overtraining? Now, we tend to tell folks to go on I can't do all these things in a week. I said, go on a 2-week rotation so you can space out your rest days, your strength training days, your HIIT or your cardio days, your sprints every 7 to 10 days. So we tell them go on a 2-week schedule. How do you tell your clients to prevent overtraining?
Follow a program that's designed by somebody who understands how not to have people overtrain.
I'm guessing an F2 boot camp.
F2 boot camp would be a great place to start. Absolutely. but there's a ton of places to go. I mean, I'm a huge fan of CrossFit as a brand and as a solution. I think if you have an opportunity to join a CrossFit gym, you will, on the fitness side of things, you will be exposed to a community and an experience of fitness that you never thought was possible to exist. And because it is built specifically for the everyday person to go in, figure out where they are, and then make it work for them. A lot of my philosophies around individuality and modifying plans, looking at the individual while following concepts and principles come from my experience as a CrossFit coach. The whole idea that Greg Glassman has a great quote. He's the founder of CrossFit. I'm going to totally butcher the quote, but it's the needs of a grandmother and the needs of a Olympic athlete vary by degree, not type.
Okay.
Pow.
Right? The functional movement that every human being needs is exactly the same. The degree of intensity and focus that you put into that is going to be completely different for everybody. And that's the founding principle. And I got that quote somewhat right, but that's basically what it was. I don't remember exactly the exact words, but the idea is I'm going to go in, having done CrossFit for almost 13 years now, and my workout's going to look completely different than yours. But I'm still going to be squatting. I'm still going to be hinging. I'm still going to be pushing things and pulling things and going through the same essential movements that everybody needs to do, just different than you are. But you're going to be getting better from where you are. I'm going to be getting better from where I am.
Everyone starts at different bases.
That is how that works. So finding someone who can help you program the rest that you need and then doing the rest that's programmed. This is something I come up with a lot. I have a couple different fitness programs. I have people that pay me money to do my fitness programs and then ask me, can I do other ones too? And I'm saying, you can, but it's not my fault when you don't see progress.
Right.
My program is designed to cover all of the things that you need to improve your fitness. If you want to do mine and then somebody else's, you automatically negate my program.
Oh my goodness. This just calls back from a success. Maybe it was a John Maxwell talk that I heard, but two old men sitting on a park bench.
You and me.
And they're destitute, and they're just kind of looking at each other. Says, how did you get here? One guy says, how did you get here? He says, I didn't listen to anybody. He said, how did you get here? I listened to everybody.
Everybody, yeah. Yep. Right.
There's so much truth to that.
It is. It really is. It really is.
Yeah, but I've heard the expression, your vibe will find your tribe. Find someone that you can connect with. And this is in the coaching space. This is in the personal training space. I was going to read some questions, but you know what? They're all mindset, and you just hit it. It's the principle is the same. It's just the degree.
Yes.
People ask about, well, how do you do it if you have bad knees? How do you exercise with fibromyalgia? The same functional movements, but find someone who has expertise in that area. That can modify it like a fingerprint for you.
Yep.
Right. And that is the key. I will say that's a key factor, is that people are asking their next door neighbor or Joe Blow down the street for advice that's not an expert.
Yeah. Yep.
Don't do that.
Isn't it crazy? Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's just funny that I find that people are like, instead of going to the expert and making sure they're not going to hurt themselves in the process, they're just going to go ahead and ask Blow Joe down the street, hey, I'm going to do this. How'd you do it? It worked for you. And let me do what you're doing.
Yep.
Please don't.
100%.
That's like when people ask me, I rarely anymore use the K word, but so you did that keto thing. Well, I didn't do the keto thing. And that's the term we like to use is tabloid keto.
Yeah.
I'll even go, so I'll use the full word, a ketogenic, way of eating, a ketogenic diet, or a whole food diet, or I'll say anything but keto, because people equate that with tabloid keto, what you see in the supermarket and the big fad thing. And then please don't
say it. This goes back to what I was talking about before. That's what they can connect to. So as a coach, if that's how you can connect them to the information they need to get, use it. Say keto all day long. It worked for me. It's working for all my clients. It's the best thing ever, right?
But I've had to make this very clear distinction.
Why it doesn't? They're not ready for that distinction.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I I tried to tell you that. You went, listen, are you listening now, Linda?
Neil, I'm telling
You
you,
give no respect.
I deal with it all, and I still struggle with this. I want people to understand the truth of the matter, but my truth and what I've known through over 10 years of experience is way deeper than people who are just figuring out that they need to make a change. They're ready for it. They're not ready for it. So if you can connect to somebody by doing that keto thing,
Even on that level, just
that's you meeting them where they are.
build the connection there. Okay.
Hold it and use it 100%. 100%. That's how you.
Well,
That's
yeah,
how you
brother.
can,
Thank you.
right?
Well, look,
that doesn't mean in your content and as you're doing stuff about, things you're putting out in your message, that you don't stay true to that and be your authentic self. But when you're communicating and you're trying to connect with somebody, you have to meet them on their level.
Yeah, and that's, I'm going right back to number one rule in public speaking or in general. Number one rule in speaking is know your audience.
100%.
And how to connect
Absolutely.
And meet them where they're at.
Meet them where they're at. It's hard sometimes because that's not where you're at.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's the challenge of being further down the journey.
Right.
Is looking back at where you used to be. What would you have connected with where you are now 5 years ago?
Right.
It's hard. You're exactly right. It is hard because sometimes when you're trying to meet somebody where they're at, you're like, you just don't understand.
And they don't.
Been there.
No.
And it's just like,
and I tell myself all the time, always remember what it was like to be new. What was it like to be new? And we fall short of that. Guilty. Happens.
oh yeah.
But then you reset. We were talking earlier today, me, Becca, and Nisha, about fail more, fail better, fail forward.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
And, Thomas Watson, the founder of IBM, he said, if you want to double your success rate, double your failure rate.
Mm-hmm.
Keep trying.
Yep. I don't know if I want to double my failure.
Yep, absolutely.
So,
well, listen, we've enjoyed this time. Tell us a little bit more about your. Well, now I will say, you're not getting rid of this guy, are you?
No. I actually changed the cover. You got to get another copy because I changed the cover.
I know. No, but this book, I love this book. I've recommended it to multiple. I've given a few away.
I appreciate it.
It's a fantastic resource to have, and it's not it's not a novel. You can pick up anywhere that you need to. You read it through first, then you say, I knew he had something about that. There it is.
Yeah, awesome. I love it. I'm hoping that one and this next one really, the one thing I want people to have for this book is that they use it for the rest of their life, because it literally, my goal for this book is, if you can practice the framework that's in the book, it's the F2 method. It's my method. Is what, my mantra for years has been fitness is freedom. That's where F2 comes from, fitness and freedom. Mm-hmm. And the F2 method is essentially the framework that I work with people through, that I've used for years to help people through this journey. And being able to actually put it down on paper and say, look, guys, here's the steps 1 through 3. And then if you can learn that process and understand the concepts behind what makes people successful on this journey, you will never not fail, or you will never fail. You will never not stall. Sorry. The stalling, the plateauing, the getting stuck, the feeling lost, the being confused, the being overwhelmed, all that stuff will just go away, because I have a process. Where am I in this process? What's the next thing that I should be working on? And if I'm stuck, if I'm not sure, just start at the beginning. What's my why? Re-engage at a previous step. Right. What's my why, and start the process over again. You can use it over and over and over and over again.
Now, when's the new book come out? Any estimated date?
Hopefully before Thanksgiving.
All right.
That's the plan. We'll see. I was told, a little anecdote. I was told I'm working with a publishing consultant, and I also have a coach who's helping with some other stuff. Both of them told me that it's an 8 to 12 month promo period before the book is ready to be published. So basically, I'm about 2 months away from the book being publishable, where we can get everything done. It's all laid out. We've got the cover done. You've seen the cover already. The cover's been finalized. get all that stuff done, get it into all the publishing platforms, and then setting a date saying it's going to go live on X date. Whatever that date is when I can officially start the promo tour for the book. I don't want to wait till freaking Thanksgiving.
Of course you don't.
I don't want to wait 8 months. So we'll see. I'm not patient when it comes to things. If I have something on my to-do list, it drives me crazy until it's gone off the list. Like I hate having things on my to-do list. So yeah.
You're that type A, whatever color it is. You're that guy.
I'm that. Yes.
Well, let me ask you this. Are you guys, you and Natalie, having another weekend conference coming up anytime?
So this year we are doing, I'm glad you brought that up because I've been forgetting to talk about what we're doing this year. This year we're doing a chill weekend getaway in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. No plans, no events, just come hang out with us for a weekend.
Babe, that's my anniversary gift.
Because that's
we're
like
not planning on doing a bunch of, we're not planning on, we did a couples retreat last year where we had workshops and seminars and go do this together and work through these things as a couple and do all. We're not doing that. We want this to be kind of chill and relaxed. It's going to be come hang out. We might go hiking. We might go canoeing. I don't know. I don't know if you know Michelle Hall. She's my assistant coach. She runs my boot camp program.
I've seen her name. I've seen some of her stuff.
Yeah, she's actually on the low carb cruise committee as well. So she's working with Debbie and that whole team. But her husband is already like become the event coordinator. Like he's already like, okay, we're going to go do this on that. We're going to go do this. We got this plan. Like, so it's going to be chill, relax, have a blast. We got a huge place. It's got like a hot tub, a little pool. It's got games and it's on a mountain. I mean, it's going to be a blast. So I think I want to say that's in September. So as we have more information come out, we'll put stuff out about that.
Yeah, we'll have
but that's what we're doing
to celebrate.
We plan on doing another actual conference next year. Once the book is out, that settles down a little bit. I've been really focused on that. We also just moved this year. Like it's been a crazy year. So
that's okay. It happens. Well, fantastic. Now, where can people find you? We have to know.
Yeah, coach.bronson.com. And on the webs, and then on YouTube, it's coach.bronson. And on Instagram, it's coach.bronson. Those are the best places to get me.
Fantastic.
Oh, and I have a new Discord server. Free group. Anybody can come in and chat. It's slowly growing. I just opened it last week. The memes are strong with these ones. So it's a blast. We get in there and have some good chats. But yeah, just, hang out and chat with people and friends.
Cool deal. Well, again, Coach Bronson Dant, thank you so much for giving us a few minutes of your time. And wow, mindset. That's where it's at. And this was great. The people that watch this replay are going to be glad that they did.
Good.
Fantastic. Well, let me find the proverbial button here, and we will bid you adieu.
Thanks. Appreciate it. You got some people